We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
and I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2174. Today, Jill and I are talking about how to choose internet groups that make you a better person. We had a very long discussion, Jill and I, with a group of people about this exact topic who are in Land Academy because we want to know why smart people are continuing to join Land Academy. Because there's so many more options than there were even just a few years ago, even really just a year ago. And so Jill and I are talking about it, and I'm not sure we'll see how it goes.
I'm pretty sure Reddit is not one.
Reddit, we'll talk about it in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum, take a deep dive into land-related topics by your request.
Lisette wrote, when testing for reason in large zip codes, how many miles out do you go? The zip code has a lot of variation depending on which area the land is located.
This is a very good question. When we started doing this, Jill and I, we would send out mail by county. We just didn't have the level of data that we have now. So the county's even worse because it's incredibly diverse. Think about the county you live in. How many positive areas, areas that there are where real estate values change. Geez, block by block, from where you live, I'm sure real estate values change pretty dramatically. So to combat that, rather than go asset by asset like we do when we price mailers for houses with land, we take the entire zip code and makes it a little bit more manageable, break it down into like kind acreage sizes first, like all the 5 acres go together, or the 2.5 to 5 acres go together, or whatever the data says to do. And then from there, we sort for, or we sort in order of assessor's parcel number, APN. Now you've got, theoretically, properties that are close to each other geographically, because when the APNs were created by whatever assessor was there at the time, usually in the 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe before that, they would issue tranches of APNs all at the same time to a developer. And so those properties with a pretty high degree of certainty over the years, we have found they're accurately priced together. So this helps you to directly answer your question. It helps the job of testing for reason once you're done. It's much easier. You only have to test 1 or 2 units theoretically in that APN scheme. So I hope that helps. You don't want to just not sort for anything and then start testing, because that'll take you a very long time.
So the mileage question isn't even anything that we look at, which is true. I know that. We don't talk about miles. We talk about zip codes.
So it's not, So you don't want to go miles out. You want to only ever test for reason for properties that are, which you believe are real comparison values. So like kind property. If you got a 2-acre property on one end of the zip code that's in a completely different APN scheme as a 2-acre property on the other end of the zip code, chances are they're not real comparison values. Look, I know this is complicated. I know it is. And we've covered this we're doing this for 10 years now. Mm-hmm. This is not the first time we've answered this topic. And if there was an easier way, we would have screamed it out by now. But there's ways to make this much easier on yourself and just follow the kind of the common sense. When you look at a house, if you want to find comparison values for the house that you live in, or maybe a house that you're thinking about buying, you don't go to the other end of the zip code.
True.
In fact, you don't even go one subdivision over. You usually just look in the same sub or the same immediate area and see if it's comparably priced.
True.
So that's thank you, Jill, because you don't go miles out.
Cool.
Today's topic: how to choose internet groups that make you a better person. This came from just the explosion of internet groups that you can join that I've noticed in the last 12 to 24 months.
True.
And maybe it's been going on a lot longer than that. It's just has it been? I mean, what?
A lot longer. Yeah. Are we talking real estate investor groups? Like that's where my mind goes because I'm in several of those. But we can talk about all the other groups too.
Well, I'd like to make it a bigger, for purposes of this discussion, make it a bigger funnel because, you know, I just read recently on the internet that the most popular videos out there are how to put makeup on.
That's so funny. I just had this conversation with kid number 1 today. I was playing with my new hair curler. So if you're seeing me right now, you're looking at my curls like one, hey, and like one side's a little looser, this side, well, I'm still learning. So I just told the kid today, I can't imagine where I would be right now if I didn't have YouTube teach me how to use fill in the blank. And it's beauty stuff, like a hair thing. She's like, oh, don't think I know that about makeup. I'm like, yeah, so I believe that to be true. So go ahead.
So it's the social media makes sure that you have to constantly keep up with it to advertise whatever you're selling.
Right.
We have famously for a lot of years said we don't do that. We organically members join it because they find us, and so that's 98% true up to this date. Recently, we've been horsing around with it. And we're finding that we get much better members, much more intelligent members if we utilize, not intelligent, but people that have a better chance of succeeding if we play their game. So it got me to thinking, there's all these groups out there. You know, hawking education is just plastered everywhere you look all over social media. So I wanted to just open it up. Like, I would only ever join a group. I would only ever sit in any group, physically or on the internet, that's going to make me a better person and I can learn.
Isn't that funny? There's groups for everything now. Like, there's groups for I homeschool my kids, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. Well, I'm a stay-at-home, like whatever. I homeschool my kids, and I'm an artist, and I raise pets on the side. Like, there are groups for that. Not kidding. And even like education programs, like I can help you if you do all 3 of these things, you're a painter, you're homeschooling your kids, and you also sell pets, whatever. You also breed labradoodles. I can help you make it even more efficient. Join my group. Seriously.
So what's the, this is the conversation I wanted to have. So what is now the reason that you would join a group?
Oh,
because those people are your people?
Uh-huh. It needs to be all my niches, or a version of my niches and my important niches. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I agree with you.
Or a cause. I was thinking about that too. Like, what do I scroll? You know what's funny? When I look at my phone just this morning, I realized I was only scrolling and stopping on 2 things. Do you know what they were?
Wait, let me guess. You're just scrolling in the morning?
Uh-huh. 2 things got my attention.
I don't know. What?
One was really pretty pictures of snow-covered mountains, and 2 was videos of bison. There's this photographer. This guy's got some really good shots of these bison, walking, around.
Sounds like you want to go back to Yellowstone.
It kind of does. Exactly.
That's what the internet, I'm sure, is thinking.
Right.
So you're going to get all kinds of stuff on that.
Oh,
now.
yeah. Well, especially since I said it out loud and my phone's around, so it picked up on all that. So, yeah. So, anyway, so what internet groups? So I guess you have to be careful. You don't want to fall into a negative group, obviously. You want to make sure it's a positive group. And what sings to you, what's important to you. So the groups I'm in are, like we just talked about, nature, certain animals. Like I knew about those eagles on the news today, and the baby eagles. They've named them, by the way, Gizmo and oh shoot,
Jesus, Jill. What world do you live in?
I know. Thank you. I know. I can't remember the other one's name, but one is Gizmo, and I remember that one for obvious reasons. And it's 2 of the 3. One of the eagle babies didn't make it.
Oh.
So I'm into that, and I think that makes me a better person. I'm totally into other investors. You know what? I'm not into so much, I'm into new investors. It was kind of interesting. Not really established investors. I kind of want to know what the new guys are doing, which is really who we are anyway. And that's why you're here on this podcast, because we like helping people getting still going here. I like answering little questions like, okay, yeah, that's good, but did you look over here and consider this? I like doing stuff like that.
I would only ever join a group where there's somebody that was so much to my senior, and I don't mean it by age, but by experience and whatever I'm trying to learn or do or whatever, that I would, then that's it. And I think one of the problems that I'm seeing when I go out in the internet and investigate all this stuff, or research it, I should say, is that there's just very young kids with no experience that have a group in there standing in the middle of the ring, instructing people to do stuff. I don't care if it's play the guitar or anything. They don't have enough experience to do this. True. Really, in the end, the very at the root of our soul here is this fact, this desire for us to be part of a like-kind community and be accepted in it. And I think that's what's going on. And I also think that's how things like Al-Qaeda start. Because everybody wants to be so bad, be part of a group that if it becomes a religious radicalization group, they're gonna do that. And so
that's scary.
If you're sitting around saying, I know I'm a land investor in my soul, and I want to learn from people who've done it and who I can identify with. This is the key. Who I can actually identify with, how they talk, what they look like, how they go about things, and what their opinions are on things,
their
like
values,
groups to join, things like that. Then it's probably going to be a good fit. If you really want a Ferrari really bad, and you want then one of your friends is just trying to group to buy and sell land, this place is probably not for you. And so I'm not selling Land Academy or any of that. Jill and I have this conversation once in a while because all of our kids are out of the house and have jobs and the whole thing. And we watched the first kid grow up, as a toddler in the real early 2000s. And then each kid after that was 4 years later. And the amount of stuff that the last one had to sift through socially on the internet to find out any version of reality is sad. I feel bad. And it's only going to get worse. So I hope that you can find a group that you can trust and where you're appreciated and learn something and be a positive part of it.
I agree.
Join us tomorrow where Jill and I discuss how to successfully buy land when values are going down right now instead of up. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.